Good morning and welcome to the 8th Masterclass, everybody. My name is Dan McCormick. I never want to assume that I've met everybody. This has been an incredible journey. It's 42 years for me now since that great book, the Og Mandino classic of all classics. I almost choked up just because of how it struck me when I read Og's works. And when I read The Greatest Salesman in the World, The Greatest Secret in the World, The Greatest Success in the World, that was the springboard for me. That's what cranked my life off of the plateau as a 19-year-old young man. No self-esteem, no self-worth, certainly no net worth. Had an incredible college experience. For those of you that I haven't met, I went to Washington State University to play on the tennis team. And I always love to ask live audiences, how many of you had a college experience? If you're on screen, go ahead and put your hand up there. You had a college experience. Okay. How many of you finished in just 2 weeks' time? That's what I had to do, is say I wasn't dropping out. I was finished. And that will be the title of next month's broadcast, the 9th one of the year. We'll talk about that at the end of the show here today. But I must be honest with you. The gods of good fortune have shined on my wife and I. And yeah, you can go ahead and put it on mute if you got background noise. It's okay. Shar will also maybe manage some of that. But the good fortune that my wife and I had to pass our first $1 million in income while I was 22 years of age was being at the right place at the right time and incorporating those principles of Og Mandino, having a system that really worked for us. And Og says at the beginning of that book, he gives you 75-1 odds that you'll follow the scrolls. He gives you 75-1 odds that you'll follow the scrolls and trust the process to perhaps double and triple your income in the next year. Those are Og's words in 1968. And so today, as we start this masterclass with the idea of co-creation, I invited co-creators into my life. And I started off by being wowed by none other than Hal Elrod's book. Okay. And that miracle morning bolted me off the plateau. I had been sitting on a plateau for years. You wouldn't know it from the outside, but I knew it from the inside. And when I decided and read that 4th scroll from Og again that says, I am nature's greatest miracle, I thought, why can't I write a book? Why can't I become a greater light to the world? How can we go out there and literally begin the process? And here's one of my early manuscripts right here, literally some of my notes and my writing. And I got my early manuscript. And then to be able to get to this point right here, you guys, some of you started texting me that you got books yesterday. That's a huge deal. 2 years. Margie knows she's got a book out there. And, you know, it's a big, big process. It's a massive journey. And so today I can sit here and tell you that qualitatively, November has been the best month of my life. There's a guy out there that advertises on Siri. I can't remember what his program is. It could be cryptocurrency or stock market. I can't remember what it is. And he says, how about if you become part of my 2 comma club? Well, what if you became part of a 2 comma club in a month? Holy cow. One of my financial partners and advisors is on the phone here that works with me each and every day. And she can attest that this has been a month to remember. Now, I want to go ahead and just say, if you're new to the masterclass, you can type in right now in chat and say, I am possible. Everything in your life that starts with I am that we talk about in this book, I means exist, am means with God. What follows I am follows you. We put that on our t-shirts when we do the book launches. We hand out t-shirts that say, what follows I am follows you. Think about that. Know, just as we talked about in last month's masterclass, that Bruce Lee even said, never joke about yourself. Your body doesn't know the difference. That's why it's called spelling. You do not want to cast a spell on yourself by saying anything negative. We want to continue to filter for higher ground, higher quality relationships and people. And this is a relationship type of week in the world, in the United States specifically, with Thanksgiving. Across the globe, we have people in the spirit of Christmas, the spirit of family. And I am grateful is a beautiful thing. So Shar, let's go ahead and let's put the first slide up on the screen. This has been the best month of my life because I continue to choose to do this thing called co-creation. And when we co-create, we're going to get to there's the title of today's 8th Masterclass. Now, I want to just see if you're willing to play along. And I can't read all of the posts while I'm speaking, but I'd love for you to put in this next slide here, what are your wins? I'm going to share some of our wins at what we call I Am Ventures, which is my company name for all things I am. I know a lot of you have seen me talk about the coin, and I am a magnet for miracles. Some of you last month shared in the journey of what the coin means to you, and the coin continues to get shipped out. We're doing the bundle opportunity. You see, buy 3, get 1 free. You have one in your desk, in your purse, at your office, in your car. So you're always clutching and feeling those 7 affirmations and reaffirming, I am a magnet for miracles. Miracles, as Einstein says, either everything is a miracle or nothing is a miracle. Let's go with Einstein and think just for this show today that everything is a miracle. And this week, miracles happen in my life. People I was meeting, investments I was making, incredible rewards. The journey has been nothing short of amazing. But remember, it was after years of being on the plateau. The pre-orders have been shipped. I think we're about halfway through for those that signed up to be on the advanced reader team. Now, a few of you on the screen here today have been on my podcasts in the past, have been acknowledged in my book, and I have hardcover special edition copies being sent to you. And they were supposed to be here by now. So if you don't have your copy, I'm so sorry. You know how publishing is. It's different for everybody. But the pre-orders are being shipped. The coins are available. Think about your team. Think about your family and get those coins in the hands of your kids, your grandkids, your associates, for anybody. I literally meet people, and I'll sometimes, if I'm inspired by them, I'll put this coin in their hand and say, you deserve this. And one guy last week said that, he says, I got in the back of my Cybertruck for a test drive. And he says, I can't wait till Dan gives me one of those coins today. And I said, you're absolutely right. I'm going to give you a coin and you're going to give me $30 because the value of the coin is far exceeding that. And so he took his $30 out and put it in the till right there. And so now I want to tell you about the 99-cent Kindle launch. The reason we're doing this is because around the world, people can get it on Kindle right now. There's the QR code. Those of you that already signed up on the advanced reader team, the reason we're doing that is because we want your honest review as quickly as possible on Amazon, whatever review sources you serve to, but we want those reviews. Now, when we do that, we certainly know that you may enjoy a hardcover. I personally like a hardcover copy, okay? And so I love the feel of a hardcover book with a jacket on it. And so I decided to print and make all forms of the book available all at once. And I'm going to tell you why. I continue to filter for what Hal said when he had his incredible first year with his book. His goal was to sell 1 million copies. He sold 8,000. He says, I can't even figure out the number of how far I fell short. But my goal is to literally go out next year and sell a minimum of 8,000. Maybe it'll be 80,000. Who knows? Maybe it'll be 800,000. It's possible because you never know who the who is. And so I met a who this week that absolutely changed my life, that helped me filter how to take this entire process to more people. And so when you think about this here and you put your wins, I love this, people writing, I am a magnet for miracles, putting your wins in chat, scan the QR code there, and you'll be able to go out and get the Kindle version for 99 cents. We're going to do that Black Friday sale through the end of, I think, next weekend. And we're going to have a grand time together. And I'll continue as we go to the next slide here to win with you. Because each and every morning, most of you know that the 18-minute affirmation video that I made for me, because of Naval Ravikant's quote in Atomic Habits by James Clear. When James Clear quoted Naval, and he simply said, in order to write a great book, you have to become the book. How did I peel the onion away? So I invested in this 18-minute affirmation video with the right sounds, vibrational energy, right? With the right words and the right time frame. That 18 minutes is 1% of your day. We now have thousands of views on YouTube. A lot of you have the non-commercial version. We have thousands of views on Vimeo, and people are awakening to who they are. And I love the clapping. Thank you. I feel the energy of the 2 words to ignite your transformation. What follows I am follows you. You know, I got a text this week. One of our guests 2 months ago is Deanne. She's on the broadcast here this morning. And I got a text this week, and she said, I am so grateful once again for the gentle reminder to flow before phone. Let's get that 1%. Let's trust in the process. And you can QR code that one right there as well. Let's trust the 1% so I'm more prepared than 95% of the world to attract the law of abundance, the law of attraction, all of the things, the who's in your life, the health that you want, the relationships that you're looking forward to, the contributions you want to make. Trust the process of flow before phone and watch your life ignite. And I love that word, and that's why I put it, the 2 words to ignite your transformation. We know that transformation comes from inspiration. We know that Paul wrote that in Romans 12:2, that be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. I didn't know Paul understood what neurogenesis was. I don't think Paul understood what neurogenesis was, maybe either, but to be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind first thing in the morning is because of all of those new baby nerve cells that are born. It's why we do not want to go down the rabbit hole of comparison. I have one friend that literally turns apps off all week long until Sunday. He checks the apps that he wants to look to. He wants to read the people he wants to read, and then he disenables them, okay? So let's flow before phone and go to the next slide, Shar. I love your comments, everybody. Now let's dive in, because I don't know when you're going to get your book. I don't know when you're going to read the Kindle version, but this is going to be so much fun. I had this notion, how do I write a book, but not just for me, together, so we can co-create together. No one goes alone. What's that old African proverb, right? You want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together, right? Some version of that. And we're together. This is the first page. This is something I literally, in my master classes, my advanced master classes that I teach, this is where we spend a great deal of time going over that. When you sign your name to this page, what we are doing is co-creating. It emboldens the feeling of signature, of pen to paper. It changes the brain. It strengthens the commitment to feel the coin and your name, and to see your name as my co-author, my co-partner, my co-creator. It becomes your book. It's never finished. It is always in progress, because your I am affirmations become your own. And I know that everybody is going through different stuff. This week, I had an individual reach out to me. He says, I forgot to tell you that I lost an eye this year. I had another individual reach out and say, as I texted him first thing in the morning, and I said, God bless you, my friend. I haven't chatted with you in a few minutes. He says, man, your text means so much today. I just had shoulder surgery. It's so painful. I had another friend show up and just continue to pour into people. Right? So everybody's affirmations might be a little different, but remember that great verse from Exodus, I am the Lord that healeth. Now, with that in mind, I want to bring in my guest. I want to tell you about this story, because June of this year, we get to have a chance to work at the Association of Network Marketing Professionals together. We get a chance to be on stage together. We get a chance to pour into people. And when we talked and hugged, I mean, this is one of the most vibrant entrepreneurs in the history of direct selling. This is an individual who smiles nonstop. This is an individual who loves people, perhaps at a level of empathy and compassion I haven't met before. This is an individual that, while we haven't spent hundreds of hours together on business, we've never really worked together, we've co-created together, but this is an individual that you want to meet, and she has an incredible affirmation story. When we got off the stage in Dallas in June, I believe it was, she said, we have to get on the phone, and I've got to share with you my affirmation story. And what I'm finding, you guys, is when you let people know in the world that you're into affirmations, people come out of the woodwork everywhere and say, I can't believe you're talking about affirmations. I use affirmations. I love affirmations. I remember this affirmation. And here's the affirmation I use. So let's remember affirmations. And what follows I am follows you. Let's follow the lead of Margie Aliprandi from San Diego, California. How are you, Margie?
I am doing so great, Dan. Wonderful to be here with you and all these beautiful people. My gosh, I can, after years and years in the business that we do, you get very intuitive about people. I can tell a lot about a person by the sound of their voice. I can tell a lot about you by looking in your faces. I can feel the beautiful, open-hearted, vibrant energy that you're bringing. So from wherever you're calling in from or zooming in from, I just want you to know that I feel you and I love you already. And I absolutely adore this man. I am so grateful to be here.
Well, you were on my Greatest Salesman podcast, and I remember you just lit up the screen, people around the world. And I remember when you said in June of this year, you said, we've got to get on the phone and talk about my affirmation journey. Take us back to those early 2000s. I
Okay.
think the movie The Secret had just come out. You correct me if I'm wrong. The movie The Secret had come out, and the world is exploding on this notion that there's this secret. And this secret inside of the secret for you happened to be affirmations. Do you want to share a little bit about that journey?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I'm going to take you back to when I first fell in love with personal development. You guys, you're in your 20s. So I had a dad that was very into personal development. And when I was, this is really going to date me, but when I was just a young girl, he gave me a reel to reel copy of Acres of Diamonds.
Oh,
I listened to that as a young girl. I mean, reel to reel, guys. This is not cassette tape. This is not, 8-track tape. This is not VHS. This is
real to real.
reel to reel. So I would listen to that. And I was an early adopter. I was only like 9 years old.
Wow.
Something in my soul said, wow, I've got chills as I say this. We have the power to create our lives as we want, like at 9 years old. And then I became a voracious student. Like I would be in church, I would take notes on talks. Like I was reading anything I could get my hands on. I fell in love with personal development. And then isn't it interesting that I would pick a business where personal development is practically a prerequisite to just an implicit part of the business that I, and probably some of the rest of you do. So what a beautiful part of the journey all of this has been. Now, the way affirmations entered in, I think I had been affirming in my own way, probably for a very long time. Uh, like I said, early adopter of personal development. Then yes, I think it was about the year 2000, I had a gentleman approach me. I was, very active, quite successful with my global network marketing business. But you get to those points where you're like, I want something else too. And a guy approached me and said, we want you to come be the president of our company. And I'm like, never been the president of anything. I'm just like I'm a distributor. And he said, yeah, we've developed an affirmation software. I want to show it to you. And then we want you to take we want you to be the president. We want you to take the marketing lead on this. So what they had created all the way back to the year 2000 is an affirmation software where you could create affirmations. We wrote some too. Like I wrote thousands of affirmations in, different variations of this software so that people could pick their own. But then here was the brilliance of it. You create it in your own voice.
Yes.
Then you had the option of placing a music track. We had bunches of music tracks in the software, or you could import your own music. And then you could mix it like your voice and then you could download it to any device. I mean, this is really, really early stuff. So I fell in love with it because I know the power of affirmation. I'm going to back up for just a second and say, just as kind of a case for affirmations, guys, we are always affirming something. Every thought in our mind, like we have 60,000 thoughts a day, 90% of them are repetitions from something we thought yesterday, rehashing the past, fearing about the future, right? Like we are always affirming something with our thoughts. To affirm means to make firm. Repetition makes something firm. So one of my greatest mentors, Bob Proctor, said, there are only two ways to create lasting change in life. Number one, he says, is a catastrophic life event. Let's avoid that one if we can. What do you think?
Yeah.
The catastrophic, you know, that those things are going to happen, but a catastrophic life event or the consistent repetition of new information. Our thoughts, the repetitive ones, they are affirming. So when people say they don't believe in affirmations or, oh, those are woo-woo things, like, dear, you can either be deliberate about them
Yeah.
or you can let them happen whimsically, but you are always affirming. So why wouldn't we be deliberate about this amazing creative capacity that we have? So what happened with that is I said yes, and I began writing affirmations, hundreds and hundreds, ultimately thousands of affirmations for these various softwares. Then I got introduced to Rhonda Byrne.
The Secret.
This is the woman who wrote The Secret. And they just
Co-creation, right? Co-creation.
baby, co-creation. So I get to meet Rhonda Byrne. She's right in the process of getting ready to release the movie The Secret. And they decide they want to create an affirmation software that ours was called My Mind Makeover a million years ago. And so I begin working with her. I'm writing affirmations, and then she and I get on the phone. I think she's one of the most powerful manifesting, definitely females, but people of our time. The woman is a magical manifester. And so I got to work hand in glove with her. I would create the affirmations, we would tweak them. And I want you to know that the power and purpose that was coming from her was incredible. So to work side by side with one of the most powerful manifestors. And then we created the software, and next to their the video, right? Their That Secret video DVD, our product was the top selling product in their superstore.
Woo, baby.
Was a way to get this out. But what I want to share happened from a more personal level. As I began creating these and helping other people create them, very easy, very intuitive with the software. There are tons of apps that you can do this with now, but we were the first game in town.
You were.
When you create an affirmation in your own voice and you do it in a moment where you're feeling strength, vision, purpose, certainty, put a little music under it that just enlivens the spirit, and you come back to those affirmations every single time, it will take you to that place of knowing. There's nothing like hearing it in your own voice. So in fact, I think I need to still do something with it, but I believe I've got the domain name affirmationqueen.com. I would
I
I'm
love
sending out daily affirmations. I created affirmations for my body. I love my body. I tune into its messages. I'm so grateful for my mind, like I had a body affirmation, I had sleep affirmations, I had success affirmations, I had money affirmations. I created affirmations for absolutely everything in my life. I knew that anything that followed the words I am became the most powerful word in the English language in that moment. And I became very vigilant about monitoring my thought, vigilant about harnessing that we all naturally have. So Dan says that you are a magnet for miracles, right? You are a magnet for miracles. I want to take that one step forward. You are a miracle.
Mm.
You are an unrepeatable you. You warts and all. Crazy thing is, I just wrote my Monday post on this very thing.
Wow. And I reached out to you yesterday, right?
Yeah, and I'd written it in the morning. So the synergy, you guys, of us coming together. So yeah, the bottom line is those dreams that are planted in your heart that are bubbling up, get them in an affirmation.
Yeah.
And the affirmations, you know all this part already, but they need to be positive. Don't put any words in your affirmation that you don't want more of, right?
Mm,
Like, don't say, I'm not lazy, right? You don't
yes.
want, you just add every affirmation you create can start with the words very simply. I am happy and grateful that I now, because you want to be writing them in the present tense. These are not hopes. These are not wishes. This is you, my beautiful, unrepeatable miracle. This is you claiming what is already yours with the grateful words of I am. I am so grateful that I am now. Anyway, so I wanted to read you something that I think you might find a little bit humorous.
Let's do
I
it.
just realized what I found with my affirmations is, and listening to these, and the minute that I would hear my voice, not anybody else's voice, my voice telling me that I was worthy, my voice telling me that I am a magnet for miracles. I found that I was manifesting so quickly that I was changing my affirmations on almost a monthly basis. This is the power of what you can accomplish. So yeah, of those 60,000 thoughts that are 90% repetitions day after day, get a little more volitional to harness this power. So I'd been single for a long time. My kids were starting to grow up. And I decided I wanted to create an affirmation to bring in the man of my dreams.
Wonderful.
This affirmation 18 years ago. It's, I think I had to read it from my book too,
Do
because
it.
I don't have it memorized anymore. But this affirmation says, I am so happy and grateful. They all start with that. I am so happy and grateful that I am now attracting men who are single. Because at first I didn't put that in. And I was attracting all men, right? Wait a minute, you're married. That doesn't work. So
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
attracting men who are single, emotionally available, financially stable and free, open, honest, intuitive, communicative, sensitive, spiritual, intelligent, funny, balanced, healthy, tender, and loving, and who encourage and support me to be, do, and have all
Ooh.
is my destiny, while I bring all of the same to them.
Wow.
I created this affirmation. I read it to some of my girlfriends, and they're like, good luck with that. But I gave it a date. It's in the positive, right? It's present tense. I'm so happy that I am now on November 16th of 2007. I met my soulmate.
Wow.
Been together for 17 years, guys. Whatever you decide you want to bring into your life, create a powerful affirmation. Do it in a moment when you're at that place of knowing that you are a co-creator, not just with Dan, not just with me and each other, but with the divine, with God.
Yes.
You are here for a very specific purpose. You have gifts and talents that not another human has. So don't let one more minute pass without harnessing this beautiful power we have. It'll go either way. This power works both directions. You decide that you are want to incant or repeat or affirm negative things, that will become your vibratory level. You can up the game, harness everything that you're learning from this beautiful man who I love and adore and have followed and respect with all of my heart. Dan McCormick, there ain't nobody like you, my friend. I appreciate being able to be on for a few minutes. I'd love to be a part of anything that you
Oh my gosh. I'm
And
going to ask everybody to put a 10 in the screen over there to give you a 10 on that, because that contribution, that co-creation, that ideating is so incredible. Or you can just do one of these on the screen, and you can, some people don't like to type while they're watching or they're driving, but you can just clap a little bit. Margie, you said so many things that were so unbelievable. And the next slide is going to bring it all together and how I feel about it. But one of the things you said was, you can write affirmations about money. And, that seems to be at the forefront of a lot of people's minds. We've had an economy around the globe that's been tough, right? So I had this idea years ago that I heard from somebody else, that whenever you see a nickel or a dime or a penny on the ground, you say, I am a magnet for money. Money finds me every day. And you pick that money up with pride and say, money finds me every day. And I always have this one lady in Ohio, she may be watching right now, and she always sends me a picture when she picks up a nickel, a dime, a quarter, a penny. I'll never forget, she says, when you told me that I am a magnet for money. And so you can have all of these I ams. And Margie, there's a reason why you've spoken on stages of the world, in audiences in the thousands, from India to Iceland, from Europe to San Diego, where you live. Honor to have you. Thank you so much for your contribution.
may I share my money affirmation?
Please.
Okay, I am so happy and grateful, right? It always starts that way because present tense. I am so happy and grateful that money comes to me abundantly, rapidly, and with means from multiple sources now daily. My efforts create abundance for others.
We could call it a wrap right there, folks. That is powerful. And I think you all know why you invested the time to be here already today. Not just because I have a book or have an affirmation or I have a coin, any of these things to stack. And, that's the close of the book, is how we stack all of these things: the visual, the auditory, the kinesthetic. Why did Og Mandino have us read the last scroll of the night out loud so we could vibrational enter, we could hear the words and literally glean the frequency of good fortune? Paul McCartney was asked, what makes great music? It's really just frequency. That was his answer. Wow. To say I am so happy and grateful and have all of these affirmations that Margie talked about. Margie, we got to move on to the final few slides. We're out of time. But thank you so, so very much. We'll look forward to sharing this journey with you. And I just love you so much. And I'm so grateful. I think everybody here, we got 10, 10, 10. I see 10s in the screen. That's great stuff. Okay, let's now go, Shar, to the next slide, because I want to now tell you how I feel about Margie, how I feel about all of you, not just the 7 levels that are in the book, or the 7 levels of affirmation. These are the 7 affirmations. I am a creator. I am intentional. I am present. So what Margie did was she gave you such clarity on the intention, the timelines, the feelings, the details, the clarity. She didn't leave anything out. I am present. You're going to read Amanda's story in the book about how she's present. This is a humongous producer that has produced tens of millions of dollars in sales. And you're going to read her feelings about present. You're going to go through I am worthy. It's like last month we talked about our net worth, right? Can't even compare to our self-worth. I am compassionate. I am capable. And next month we're going to get into I am a finisher. Let's go to the next slide and look at this one word that I use in the book. One of the highest achievers, one of the most successful individuals on the planet in the history of direct selling, told me this was their team mantra just a few years ago on that same podcast that Margie was on the Greatest Salesman podcast. He came in, Thomas did, and he says, our team mantra is Ubuntu. I am because of you. I can say I am because of you. And when Margie and I were at the Association of Network Marketing Professionals, we heard Vivian McComb from Africa, South Africa, talk about that too is her mantra for her team. I am because of you. That is what we are doing in the co-creation world. We literally are always co-creating and bringing in those affirmations that we want. And you are because of me. It's win-win. It's what Stephen Covey talked about in the 7 Habits. And let's go to the next slide because our time is going to run out quickly, Shar. And let's remember that, put it in your phone right now. This transformation, this masterclass that we're going to go to next month, is I am a finisher. You right now are writing down those affirmations and you are programming the mind with that guided affirmation. You're waking up the subconscious the first thing in the morning, and you're going to finish this year. And who knows, you might meet the who of a lifetime. You might meet the system of a lifetime. You might read a book and say, I am the author. I am the co-author and co-partner with Dan McCormick. And you start in affirming these things. And so next month, we are so excited to have you back for the final masterclass of the year. And I am just so grateful that all of you participated today. You came in to play, you came in to learn, to co-create together. When you read that opening page, take your time. You know, I remember the great Price Pritchett talking with Bob Proctor. And Price says in the book, U Squared, you want to not only read the words, but he actually encouraged you to feel the words. I am a co-creator with you. Just like every great venture, relationship, ideas are nothing more than co-creation, and you cannot create alone. You do not create alone. We go far together. We look forward to having you back next month. If you have not, if somehow you got on this Zoom class today and you haven't been to affirmim.com, you see it at the bottom of the screen right there. You can go to affirmim.com and you can certainly leave your name in the email link so we can email you for next month's masterclass. And we will be doing our next paid for month-long, deep, intensive, advanced masterclass awakening in January. That is a very small, it sells out. If you have interest in that, you can email us at dan@affirmim.com and we can definitely get you in the list there. It will sell out. It will be small. It'll be like 90 minutes a week on Zoom to explode. Oh, what are every step that I did to explode my life off that plateau, living on the plateau to exploding off the plateau. But it's been 2 years of what Cal Newport writes about in what he calls deep work. So are you doing the deep work to explode off that plateau? There is no limitations to what's possible right now in your life. Between now and the end of the year, you can explode your own qualitative thoughts. Thoughts are things, what you think about, you bring about, Jim said, right? Jim Rohn. How can you possibly become what you're not thinking about? Today, we've gathered words, ideas, co-creations that can really help us all go out and make it qualitatively the best day of your life because you choose to. God bless you all. Thank you so much. I hope you downloaded the QR code. If you need more copies of the book or if you have ideas of the coin for your team, reach out if you have questions. I look forward to being with you next month on the December 21st and continuing to share the journey. Now, if you've got the book, don't forget to take a picture of you in the book with your name signed on the co-creation page. That's part of stacking all of the visual, the auditory, and the kinesthetic. Take that picture. If you're going to go on Kindle and get the Kindle version today, the audio version's out there as well. We'll make all that available to you in the next email as we summarize this and send this out to those that couldn't be with us live. But God bless you. Take the picture, send it out there. Filter for the highest quality words of your life, the most specific affirmations you want to bring into your life, and you will have the best day of your life. God bless you all. Have the best day of your life. Thank you, Shar. Thank you, Margie, and everybody else participating. Ubuntu, my friends. Ubuntu, my friends. Bye for now.